Good morning. Good morning, parents, grandparents, family members, and guests. Welcome to the promotion ceremony for the Blythewood Middle School 8th grade class of 2015. The meaning of a promotion ceremony can be found in history and tradition. It is a formal recognition of your child's accomplishments. The promotion ceremony adheres to traditional guidelines in an effort to symbolize their progression from middle school to high school. Consequently, the appropriate atmosphere for this event is one of quiet reflection and celebration. Please remember that this is an important event for students and their families. The best way to ensure that every graduate can remember his or her special day with pride is to produce a traditional and formal ceremony that honors the students and their families. The promotion ceremony is not a pep rally. When audience members yell, scream, or applaud for their graduate, the next name of the next person cannot be heard. All parents want to hear their child's name called during the ceremony. Enjoy this event, but please do so in a fashion that allows others to enjoy the ceremony as well. We will now begin our promotion ceremony with the processional performed by Blythewood Middle School's 7th grade band. We ask that you please stand for the processional.
join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our school song.
You may be seated. Parents, students, faculty, and staff, again, welcome to the promotion ceremony for the Blythewood Middle School 8th grade class of 2015. Parents, today is filled with mixed emotions. Look around, some of you are already crying, realizing that their first child is going to the big world of high school, while others are smiling because their last-born is finally going to high school. And they only have 4 more years of Edmodo, Google Calendars, parent portal alerts, proms, selling fruit for band, etc. So whatever phase you are in as a parent, and whether you are a family member, mentor, or a family friend, we thank you for joining us as we recognize the great accomplishment of our students making it to this point on this day. Now we will have reflections by Cade Daniels.
Good morning. Hello parents, teachers, faculty, students, and family. Now a few days ago, I was sitting around thinking, what the heck am I going to say in this speech? And then it hit me. Middle school is just like many classic movie quotes. You may think I sound stupid, but these quotes can almost all be related to life here at Blythewood Middle. So without further ado, here are 4 quotes that I have found to relate directly to life here at Blythewood. My first quote is from The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy says, "Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore." This is almost exactly how I felt walking into BMS as a 6th grader. No longer were we in elementary school, where teachers escorted us from class to class. Now we were in middle school, with more freedom than we had ever had before. We were no longer in our comfort zone, and we were thrust into what seemed like a new world, just like Dorothy and Toto in Oz. I can remember walking in as a 6th grader and just looking around with a dumb look on my face because I was in such a new world. My next quote is, "Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get," from the movie Forrest Gump. This quote has been 100% accurate throughout my time here in middle school. Each and every day here at BMS had its own surprises and uniquenesses. We had days with drama that spreaded like wildfire that no one ever saw coming. We had a day where we taped Miss Cordova to the wall, a day where we got to watch our teachers try to play basketball, and the memorable days of our intense dodgeball tournaments. With all the crazy things going on with everyone, I never quite knew what to expect. The next quote is, "Boy, that escalated quickly," from the movie Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. This relates to the amount of work and responsibilities we were given. It seemed like in a blink of an eye, we had a ton of projects and homework to complete. We've all had nights where we stayed up extremely late just to finish the assignment that was due the next day, or the days where we rushed to complete homework that was due the next period. As we went from 6th to 7th to 8th grade, all of our responsibilities in school and life were increasing and escalating. My final quote is, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it." From the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. For a comedy movie, that quote is pretty powerful. I chose this quote because middle school has truly gone by in a flash for me. It seems like just a little while ago we were in 6th grade and about 2 feet shorter. But now here we are, graduating into high school. Things seem to be traveling at the speed of light right now, and that makes it hard to truly appreciate everything going on around us. So I encourage you all to stop, look around, and enjoy life right now before you miss it. I'm honored to have been able to spend these past 3 years with you all and here at Blythewood Middle School. It's been a wild ride and a lot of fun. I look forward to our next 4 years together. I would now like to introduce Serena Romriel.
I guess not all of us grew 2 feet, so I gotta pull that down. Good morning. I know that everyone is excited to graduate, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. Today, we are celebrating the end of an era. We entered this school, a gaggle of 11 and 12-year-olds, with a basic knowledge of this world, but nowhere near enough to survive life on our own. Now we are 13 and 14-year-olds, with a lot more in our heads, although we're still not educated enough to leave home and be real adults, despite what we may tell our parents. It is important to note that despite the fact that we can all multiply double-digit numbers and do long division, despite the fact that we can write long essays and speeches such as this one, and tell you more than you will ever need to know about World War II, this knowledge is not the most important thing that we take away from our years here at Blythewood Middle. Here we have learned so much more than what the purpose of the mitochondria is. We've learned cooperation, and that being different is indeed okay. We've been taught by teachers and other students to have integrity and to strive to do what is right. We've learned humility and how to take a bullet to your pride and carry on. We've learned patience, such as what you're using right now as you wait for me to finish talking already. We walk away from here with more courage and honesty in our hearts than we had beforehand. While we recognize all that we have learned and been taught, we also have to recognize the amazing people who've done that teaching. The teachers who helped us along the way and made sure that we succeeded, even when we insisted that we simply couldn't do it or tried to throw in the towel. We must also recognize the parents and other family members who helped us get here and were always willing to buy supplies on Sunday nights when we kinda sorta forgot we had a project due on Monday, or were willing to relive the nightmare that is math homework in order to help us out. Those of you who are paying special attention may have noticed something a bit odd about my speech. The words of Nelson Mandela, or a former president, or Winston Churchill, or even Ferris Bueller have not yet been spoken. This is done for a purpose, and it's not so that I didn't have to do research. This generation will be a generation of doing. More than any other group of people before us, we will have to work hard to preserve our country's beliefs, to protect our earth, and to try and make an honest living. This generation is one which will make its own quotes, which just might find their way into a speech not unlike this one someday. So rather than repeat the words of Cade and of the greats of the past, I'm leaving a blank here that will be filled by the greats of the future, some of whom are sitting here waiting to graduate. Now that I've thanked the teachers and the parents and hopefully inspired at least one person, it's time to wrap this thing up by reminding everyone that this is indeed a celebration. So here's to us. Here's to the sleepless nights spent finishing 4 projects at once. Here's to the lunch periods spent studying, to the tests that we aced, and the ones that we didn't. Here's to the kids who made it here with ease, to the ones who had to work hard the whole time, and to the kids who fall somewhere in the middle. Here's to the Blythewood Middle Class of 2015, because we made it. At times it was hard, but we made it. And while the road ahead will be harder still, now is not the time to stress about the future. Now is the time to celebrate the present, because we finally made it. Now our BMS Boys Choir will perform Yesterday.
presentation of our certificates. Got a little duct tape to remove, I'm sorry. Grace Campbell, Katie Daniels, Hunter Roberson, Serena Romriel, Kylie Turner, Dave Adams, Amari Addison, Jaden Addison, Catherine Alexander, Jada Amaker, Brandon Anderson, Myron Andrews Allen, Celine Anstey, Derek Arcan, Joshua Axtell, Zachary Bells, Mary Catherine Ballantyne, Taylor Barnes, Desiree Belton, Andrew Belville, Bradley Bitts, Antoinisha Baltry, John Bowden, Abigail Bowling, Kamari Boyd, Jacob Brannon, Joseph Bratton, Reed Broderick, Deshaun Brown, Trace Brown, Jacob Brown, Jalen Brown, Micaiah Brown, Dalton Burchell, Trey Burns, Nathan Bush, Michael Bird, Tiana Kane, Deborah Calloway, Lily Campbell, Alex Canino, Caitlin Cannon, Megan Cannon, Stafford Capps, Aisha Carnegie, Elizabeth Carrasco, Jack Carroll, Brady Carson, Bo Carson, Alexandria Kaufman, Savannah Chestnut, Indira Chung, Killian Claghorn, Ezra Davis, Marcellus Davis, Matthew Davis, Amadi Diggs, Ashna DeVaker, Amy Dollar, Connor Dobson, Ian Douglas, Jonathan Douglas, Jalen Dunbar, Journey Dunbar, Zachary Dunlap, Delaney Dury, Cameron Edwards, Claire Ellis, Leah Epps, Janie Easted, Sierra Evans, Madison Felker, Ellie Feuerstein, Brett Finch, Lucy Fisher, Antonio Florence, Ronald Fowler, Brian Freeman, Andrew Gambrell, Daniel Garofalo, Ernest Garner, Jamie Gaskew, Douglas Gethers, Jalen Geiger, Niles Geiger, Ricky George, Chastity Gilmore, Sam Godfrey, E.J. Grail, Joshua Guerrero, Grace Hagan, Jalen Hagwood, Colson Hance, Colin Hancock, Megan Hanna, Luke Hardy, Dylan Harrell, Jaden Harris, Marcel Haynes, Miles Hyten, Jack Helms, Sammy Grace Henning, Jaheim Hersey, Alyssa Hickman, Davis Hickson, Jared Hill, Scott. Sanae Scott. Justin Seabrook. Amaria Seawright. Cedric Seth. Tucker Shelton. Cameron Shipman. Asante Silva. Cameron Simpson. Tyrell Simpson. John Sims. Sequoia Sims. Deontay Smith. Kaylee Smith. Vanden Smith. Parker Stalvey. Ansley Stone. Paul Summerford. Jasmine Sykes. Robert Tash. Robinson Tash. August Tate. Miles Taylor. Noah Terry. Kiera Thomas. Anaya Thompson. Rhiannon Thompson. Chris Tanini. Allison Tracy. Chinelo Yulasi. Aaron Updike. Lorenzo Waiters. Sarah Walker. Brianna Ware. Michael Weathers. Cordelia Weeks. Miles Weinberg. Madison Wheeler. Priscilla White. Emma Whitfield. Chadrick Wiley. Jordan Williams. Caleb Williams. Kanaya Williams. Zachary Williams. Sierra Wilson. Bailey Wise. Tyrants Wise. Kendall Warmack. Gary Young.
Let's give all of our students another round of applause. Now, I don't plan to hold you much longer, but before we let you go, I must bid our students one last farewell. And I did a closing address. It won't be very long, I promise you. I had my husband time me last night, and he said I was 3 minutes, so it won't be very long. And the title of it is 259,200 minutes, and that's not the amount of time that you've been sitting here so long. 180 days, 4 quarters, 9 weeks, 5 days, 259,200 minutes. You chunked it, students. Recently, Blythewood Middle School was charged with holding the Richland School District 2 school board meeting here at our school. In this capacity, there is a spotlight on the school in which we showcase a portion of our school to our board members, our superintendent, cabinet level staff, and other stakeholders here in the Richland 2 community. As I work together with our faculty and staff of Blythewood Middle School, I wanted our spotlight showcase to represent a montage of the many things that our students and faculty had already done at that point of the school year, and I thought, what better way to showcase this than through pictures? After all, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and anyone that knows me knows that I'm constantly using my phone to capture precious moments of teaching, learning, and other experiential learning opportunities. I also wanted to showcase the arts, and a song came to mind, Seasons of Love. I quickly got with Mr. Gunner, our chorus teacher, and together with his chorus students and media specialist, Mrs. Swetnam, the perfect video montage was created. The song lyrics state 526,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? The song goes on to capture many of life's precious moments, sunsets, laughter, and even the small things that we sometimes take for granted, cups of coffee, and even the daylight. As I thought of this song, I was reminded of our school year. As students, you spend an enormous amount of time in school. As I thought of the typical school year, it dawned on me that our students spend 180 days in school. Of those 180 days, approximately 7.5 hours, 5 days a week, are spent at school. No, this does not equate to 525,600 minutes, but it does add up to 259,200 minutes. How did you spend these precious minutes, students? As I call out this number, it seems quite large, but the reality of it is that it's actually finite, and it certainly goes by fast. The fact that just 9 months ago you entered the doors as 8th graders and are now off to high school, that shows just how quickly this time passes. 259,200 minutes. This time has equated to 2 semesters, 9 weeks, 5 days a week, for a total of 180 days as of tomorrow. You have chunked a full school year of math, science, social studies, language arts, Spanish, French, band, PE, art, chorus, orchestra, and certainly new social experiences into just 259,200 minutes. And you chunked it to get to this very moment. You know, when you get right down to it, life is just a big series of chunks. We're born into a stage called infancy. We enter into the toddler years, then early childhood, then childhood, our preteen years, next adolescence, or the preteen, or the teens, which is where you are now, then young adult, adulthood, middle age, and then late adulthood. Life, although it sometimes seems like it really doesn't come at us all at once. And so we must remember to chunk it and take advantage of the chunks. As you venture off to high school, remember, each year of school for the next 4 years, you will have approximately 259,200 minutes, 2 semesters, 4 quarters, 9 weeks, 5 days a week, for a total of 180 days. Remember to use your time wisely. Take advantage of the chunks and savor every moment. 8th grade class of 2014-15, remember to just chunk it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as our flag bearers come forward, I ask that you please stand. Class of 2015, please stand. Families and friends, I present to you the Blythewood Middle School 8th grade class of 2015.